So I'm in the greenhouse today transplanting a lot of seedlings. If you've watched my channel before, you may have seen how I transplant my tomato plants. I take the seedlings, I lay them on the bed of the soil, and I just push them down in until it goes all the way up to the true leaves. And so I've heard so many people say you only want to do it with tomato and pepper. Well, for the last 30 years, I've been doing it. I do it with everything that's small. Well, there's a couple exceptions. For instance, if you take lettuce, right? Lettuce, all the leaves kind of they congregate in one spot, and then underneath that it starts root. Boom. There's no stem to it. But most of your plants will have stems. For instance, let me show you this. This here is cabbage. Right? See, it's got quite a good root system right here, but there's a long stem. A lot of people will say, don't bury anything but tomato and spinach. Well, or tomato and pepper. Well, let me show you what I do. Is I've got three of them in here, and I buried them right up to the leaves. And look at those cabbage. They're perfectly fine. Let me bring you in and show you how I'm doing all of these. I do it with everything that's in here except my lettuce and spinach. But let me bring you in and show you how I do it. Okay, so I've got my pot here, and I fill it up almost all the way. And I've got my little seedling here. I actually waited a long time. Look at those leaves. So I lay it on there, and then I push it down in, give it a little shake, set it aside. Boom, I'm done. Let me get another one here. And you'll notice I waited a long time. These things are intertwined. Look at that. So I take this here like this. This is, oops, that's two of them. What am I doing? There's two there. Lay it on there. Push it down in. Another one. So I just keep doing this. And a lot of people are going to call me nuts. Look at this one. Look how big that root is. Stick it down in. Just like that. You can just do this in real short order. And I don't even worry about well, there's these cotyledons are pretty much spent because I waited so long. Right down in there, give it a shake. Then I'm going to water these. And let's take a look at one I did. Where is it? I just had it in my hand. Oh, now last week, or no, it's actually been about 2 weeks. So let's take a look at one I did 2 weeks ago. Take a look at that. I put 3 of them in here. 1, 2, 3 in that pot right there. They've done perfectly fine. They've grown right up out of it. In fact, these now are hardy enough to go into the garden. So I'm going to transplant those probably today. These are Copenhagen cabbage. I did the same thing with this dill a week ago, and look at that. It's perfectly fine, nice and healthy. Here's one I did with parsley, looking just fine. I'm going to bring you guys back in about a week and show you these all over again, so you'll know I'm not crazy. So, no, that's cumin. That can't go out. That's not cold hardy. And I still have a lot here left to do. I'll do the same thing with all of these. Now, except that now this cumin here is kind of strange. Let me show you. I'm going to pull one of these cumin out of here and let me show you what these look like. Now, this one here, look at how tender. Look at those roots. See how small they are? Maybe I can get a little bit closer here. But look at how weak those are. That is very, very weak. So I don't like to usually disturb these. And so I don't pull these out and lay them on there. What I'll do with the cumin, I'll take a cluster of 2 or 3, and then I will just plop those, the whole thing, I'll take the whole thing out of the cell, and then just plop it into a pot to replant it. Okay, I've got some broccoli here, so let's try it with some broccoli. So, up like that, in there. Look at the size of that root system on the broccoli. Look at that. So I try to get all that root system buried right up to the leaves. This one here. There's 2 there. There's quite an extensive root system on the broccoli. And if it doesn't have enough, you just put some more in there. Set that aside. And my trick here is to just make short order of transplanting. I don't want to waste my time. I want to get it done, and I want to move on. I know that a lot of people would take this, transplant it, they'd be very careful, dig a hole, get it just about the right size, and don't go over how deep it was before. Well, guess what? Check this out. I'm going right up to the top. Let's go right up to the bottom of the leaves. Look at that. And a lot of people would say, well, you're just stressing these plants out. You want to know something? They like it. They are happy. I'm putting them in this little bed. You know, it's like a baby. When you cover a baby up, you know, they love it. The more you cover up a baby, well, not their head, but, you know, you wrap a baby up and they just feel a lot more comfortable. I think that's, maybe I'm simplifying it too much. But, you know, you got to get the idea, right? Maybe that's a bad analogy. But anyways, I just bury these things right up. And look at how quick I can do all these broccoli. And incidentally, this here is not regular broccoli. This is actually called aspabroc. So I have never grown this before. So that was 16 broccoli in just a couple minutes. So it has been exactly 1 week. Now the temps in the greenhouse here have been 30s at night. And we've only been getting up in the 40s outside during the day, and it's been cloudy. So it hasn't been getting like really warm in here. So there's not a ton of growth, but there is some. But they're all doing very well. They're very happy. Let me bring you in and show you how they're doing. So here's the aspabroc doing really well. Look at this, nice and stout. Now there's not a ton of growth because in 7 days it hasn't been really, really warm. And so there's not been a lot of growth. But look at they're nice and stout, nice and stocky. Look at that. Look at the stem on that. Look at how strong that is. Considerably stronger from when I pulled them out of the cells. Here's the Long Island Mammoth Dill. Look at all that growth. Doing really well. Love to be plant deep. Oregano. Doing just fine. Planted 3 in that one. Here's another one. I planted these really deep. They're doing very well. Not a ton of growth, like I say, because it hasn't been really warm. Let's take a look at the cabbage here. Here's the cabbage I planted deep. Doing great. There's a lot of growth on these actually, because they love cool weather. And where's that big one that I had? Oh, look at this one. This one. This is the one I showed before a week ago. It still just keeps on growing. Planted deep. Curled parsley. They were really small when I put these in here. Doing great. Yeah. And here's some more cabbage. I just have a ton of this stuff. Let me move this stuff out of here. There's more broccoli back here. As you can see, all of it is doing really well. A lot of the stuff actually is going to be going out to the garden very soon. So as you can tell, everything is doing incredibly well. You know, gardening is an experiment, right? When I show these methods that I use, I'm not saying this is exactly how you should be doing it. I'm just showing you how I do it because it might give you another way of doing things. See, when I'm in here transplanting little seedlings, it's a tedious task and it can get kind of boring and whatnot. So I try to find ways to cut corners because I would rather be out in the garden doing things than in here just transplanting little seedlings all day. So I find short methods to do it. And the way that I've been doing it here is, I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been transplanting them deep. And I think the problem is a lot of people have this like set of rules. They have to follow this set of rules. And if they deviate from them, then the world is going to melt down and everybody's going to die, right? But that's just not so with gardening. If you try a new method, it doesn't work, what are you out? You're out a few seedlings. It's so funny when I hear people online, they say, you know, transplant your tomatoes and your peppers deep. Don't do that with anything else. I always have to chuckle because I'm thinking, wait a minute, I've been doing it this way for 40 years and my plants love it and they thrive. And I'm just wondering where they get these ideas from. And so I think they hear it, and then it just gets like, it's like this rebound effect, and it just domino effect, and everybody has to follow along with it. That's just absolutely not true. I've been planting my seedlings deep for decades, and I don't know. The proof is in the pudding. As you can see, they do well. And as the season progresses, you'll see them even more. When I'm ready to start planting these, actually very soon, I'll be putting the cabbage out in the garden, and you'll see them. You'll see them thriving, doing very well. So, anyways, for what it's worth, that's how I do it. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, then hey, you're not really out much. So, anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll catch you later.